person like Damien McGee relax?
Relax. It's a good question, and if you ask my wife, she says that I never relax. But I spend a lot of time mentally regulating. I meditate a couple of times a day, both in the morning and at night. I'm still trying to be active as much as I can. Doing some physical activity. Trust me, my body's not a temple, but I just try to keep moving all the time as well. I write down goals, and it helps me get realistic about what we can and can't achieve. And I have a wonderful supporting wife and a brilliant 3-year-old daughter who really keeps me in check and keeps me really grounded.
Yeah, that's great. No, well, that's really good. But it's interesting to know what you do in your free time, and that I thought you may well have been involved with, say, some sporting things like motorbikes or cars.
No, I am president of the mighty Xavier Saints Tennis Club, and I still play tennis competitively. At the hotel, we sponsor a number of sporting clubs, including Tom's Gawler Central Tigers. But I must admit, when it comes to footy clubs, I am a Donnybrook at heart. So sorry, Tom, but we like to sponsor as many clubs as we can, and I like to get out and see what they're doing on weekends. And we're very, very lucky in Gawler. So many of our sporting clubs, and especially football and netball clubs, are not to downplay any other supports who are getting more and more significant, but they are such a social fabric of our community, and they have been for a very long time. And even in a crisis such as now with COVID, the roles that football and netball clubs have to play in terms of mentally supporting community members and their memberships is really important. And I think all three of the footy and netball clubs are just doing a fantastic job at the moment.
Well, that's great. I certainly know that every time that my wife and the family go and have a lovely meal there, and you have the beautiful Speedway sidewinders bike down the bottom. Well, I had a big lose off of that when I was riding it at Raleigh Park many years ago, and that's why I always book the table next to it. I just like to look down at it and see, you didn't kill me.
Sambo, only if social media was around then, it would have been a great thing to have a look at, I reckon.
Well, when I saw the bike when we were first having lunch there, I thought to myself, I reckon that's that one that threw me down at Raleigh Park. And of course, my son said, Raleigh Park? Where was that? Because it was a long time ago. Yeah. And certainly your father probably would have been there and enjoyed that in that way. And talking of challenges, you've had some challenges. You didn't sit back and say, well, that's it. And I think nowadays in this life that we're living at the moment with sadly some terrible things happening to some of our young people in the town, but you've had a challenge because you're in the wheelchair. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about that, if you would?
Yeah, for sure. So it was 10 years ago, 2010, Mount Gambier. Race and motocross, state titles over there. And a really unfortunate accident. But I truly believe that I wouldn't be who I am today without the challenges I've faced, but also the people that I've got around me. Speaks volumes, I think. That's the biggest part, is the support network. Had a few bad days along the way, but I think the biggest part that I can't reiterate is I don't really call this a disability. But the part about it is we can't see what's going on. This is visual, but everybody that I meet might be 5 times a day, like, to be completely honest. I get just randoms. I might be getting out my car, whatever it may be, maybe shopping centre, Main Street of Gawler, anything like that. They'll come over and they'll try and help and things like that.
Fantastic, yeah.
But it's more, my response is always, can I help you?
Yep.
Because, to see that with them, that inspires me, to be better, because it proves that there is good people out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it really is. So, it was unfortunate what happened at the time. I think probably to touch on more, what my family, went through with things like that. That breaks my heart. They gave me every opportunity that they could and have and continue to provide that for me. So very blessed with the upbringing that I've had and the people that I've got around me, for sure.
Nah,
So-
that's very good news, and you also touched the button with me there, because I've been in the motorbikes pretty well all my life. In 1974, I came second in the 24-hour trial, riding all night. My wife called me an idiot, and everybody else did too, sitting on a bloody motorbike for 24 hours. But it also goes to Shane. He's not only been a promoter, as he's doing here in Gawler, but been involved for many years with Speedway. So, Shane, you can tell us a little bit about the Speedway, because I went to Warrnambool this year, and the sprint cars are still as good as ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've got a motorsport background as well. I think it's a common thing, but it's a obviously sad story, but wonderful that you can still talk about it. And I spent a short amount of time myself at Motorcycling South Australia, and it's and prior to that, I was with Speedway Australia for nearly 10 years, touring the country and seeing a lot of motorsport events. Got a lot of good friends still in motorsport. I love it. So different sort of horsepower now. I put up with the smelly horsepower now, where before it used to be the engines and exactly. So, but no, it's all different. But as a mad sports lover, I think we're all into that sort of thing. Do you still follow the bikes and motorsport a lot, even though what happened?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's quite funny sitting here speaking about Speedway as well. I used to travel the circuit and stuff. We're helping one of my mates out spin spanners and stuff, but still heavily involved. It's a big part of my life. I'll never let that go, and hopefully in the future I can help some people achieve their goals and things like that, as well as people help me to at the end of the day get me to where I am today as well. So without their support, never know where it would have ended up. So favourite driver, Shane?
Yeah, mine.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't allowed to have a favourite driver because I used to run the race meetings, but actually got some funny stories about that. No, I used to run World Series sprint cars around the country, so they did a silly thing for a while on a couple of the betting channels. You could bet on the sprint car races, but that was a bit close to home. There's many good people in motorsport. And a lot of people from around this area. Ricky Molo just down the road. Lovely Gawler man and his family and what they've done. And beautiful
active
people.
Motor wreckers.
Active motor wreckers. And, there's the Bowies and all that around the place. So.
Bowies used cars over here, Gawler.
That's it.
So what interesting products have you introduced in the last 12 months?
I think the biggest introduction in our store has been alternate dairy-free milks. So now you just see the increased popularity of like oat milk, almond milk. I mean, it used to be just soy and like lactose-free, but now it's I would say like probably half of the coffees we do in our store is like non-dairy based milks. Which is definitely wasn't the case not even 12 months ago. So it's definitely caught on in a massive way, whether it be for like health reasons or people like don't like lactose or a little bit more conscious about sugar content in milk and that sort of stuff. But it's definitely been almost a game changer in coffee. It's just changed. It's been a little bit more exciting for us as well, because anytime there's something new, if you make 600 coffees a day, it's introducing new milks, because they all froth differently, they taste different, they mix different with combinations of syrups and stuff. So it's fascinating.
And the Cibo cups are very distinctive, and you've also I've heard is the recycling initiative is certainly quite different, and maybe you can tell us all about that.
So that's with Simply Cups. So basically we have, and we don't just accept Cibo cups, we accept like any other like takeaway cups for a variety. We have it like a tube set up, and then it's actually a separate collection. So it's not, because cardboard from the actual coffee cup isn't recyclable. Like, it's not in terms of, you can recycle it, but it's not used just to make specific products. Whereas this one, it gets used for, it's actually like, I don't know what you call it, but it's the bumps in the road. There's actually these certain bumps in the road that they actually use the broken down cardboard for. And then also keep cups, which is something we like to promote in our store. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't accept keep cups at the moment. But any time someone brings in a keep cup, doesn't matter if it's like one of the keep cups made from our recycled cups or another keep cup, we give them 50 cents off, because at the end of the day, it helps the environment.
Great initiative.
Yeah, helps the environment. And then we all got to work together and help the environment. It's not about, it's not just a Cibo thing, it's a bigger picture thing.
The big picture, for sure.
Yeah, that hopefully people think it doesn't make a difference, like one cup here or there, but over the long period of time, I mean, it's Yeah, it's
Yeah, well, certainly the council's going to, getting rid of plastics and all those sort of things now. And so there's council meeting last night and was decided upon, having hard waste and all this. So there's a real big picture about the point of changing the way we are looking after our community. So in what you're doing there, it's certainly very much a value, and I'm sure that people really do appreciate that and so forth. And like by way of stores in Gawler and things like that, have you got any particular favourite business that you would probably stand out in your opinion?
I definitely think can't go past the Fleece if you want a good meal.
Yep.
Went there twice last week, which is probably not a good
That's
thing
great.
for my waist. But yep, they do amazing meals.
Fantastic renovation they did there too, wasn't it? As in living in Gawler for 70 years, I mean, I just can't believe what they did to that hotel. A lot of people might have knocked it down, but they certainly have done. It's a real credit to them.
It is. The Kingsford is amazing.
Yep.
There's someone like obviously. I mean, you've met her, Karina. She's like a local,
wonderful young lady.
She's a wonderful young lady. Her business, K Photography.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying this because she didn't ask me to. Well, because I have to.
You'll be the good book tonight.
No, yeah. I'm not saying, but I've seen her work, and I've seen like the amount of passion she puts behind like editing and taking these photos, and she has an eye that is amazing. She's done photos for our store and like friends and that sort of stuff. So
right.
she's an amazing photographer. If you ever need a photographer.